What's the difference between a revocable living trust and a transfer on death deed or a transfer on death direction, pay on death direction? These are completely different estate planning concepts, but related. So, a revocable living trust is intended to avoid probate. Any assets in the trust upon the death, there's going to be a triggering death. Whomever created the trust, whoever's the beneficiary, the trust will say, where do the assets go when somebody dies? And they might say that, okay, on death, the assets go to the 3 children, for example. So there'll be a successor trustee who will have legal authority to sell the property or continue the property in trust. Whatever the trust says will happen. Don't think of revocable living trusts as requiring no work or being such that you don't need to seek legal counsel. When somebody dies, you need legal counsel. A revocable living trust often misleads people to think they don't need to do anything. But it is intended to avoid probate. It is intended to direct the assets where the grantor wanted it to go. But to do it right, you likely need legal counsel. Now, contrast that with a direction on an asset that is intended to happen automatically. Nobody needs to do anything on death. So that would be like a transfer on death deed on real property. What does the person need to do that's receiving this real property? Well, a transfer on death deed's already been recorded with the county. The person who is receiving it simply needs to go to the county with a death certificate, real estate excise tax affidavit, and voila, property is theirs. Simple. How about a life insurance policy or a 401k or a bank account that pays on death? That again is an automatic transfer of the asset upon the owner's death to whomever has been designated. In order to receive that asset, the person needs a death certificate of the owner, and typically they fill out a claim form, especially if it's with the 401k or the life insurance. If it's just at the bank, typically you just go to the bank, prove who you are, show them the death certificate, and then the account is then transferred into your name. So it is far more automatic than would be a revocable living trust, which is not automatic. One other really similar type of asset is like a bank account that is held joint tenancy with right of survivorship. What that type of account is that the surviving person who's named on the account is the owner upon the other account holder's death. And how do you prove that? You prove that with a death certificate. So there are ways, really efficient and effective ways to set up your estate plan. An estate planning lawyer can guide you through this and make sure you've got the right plan.